circle symbolizes the eternal love the Hersheys have for the students for them and each other. And oh, it's become a very popular place for wedding photos, prom pictures. We often see professional photographers set up here, especially in the spring when all the flowers are out. At one time, we had over 90 farms in the area. Kids used to live on a lot of them. The barn to your right, well, that belonged to one of those farms, but they remodeled it and made it the school's new high-tech security center. Very dedicated security staff here. Off to your right, down the road, you see a white fence. That's the first of several farms. If the kids want to get involved in the agricultural programs, they can raise sheep, goats, rabbits, chickens, even work with horses and cattle, and later on, another week or two, take them off to the farm show and try to win some ribbons for them. They can raise crops over here in the truck farm, orchards, vineyards, and down in the big greenhouses where the ag center is. That's where they have the farmers market. They sell produce to the public. I like to buy the ice cream the kids make. It's really good. Now this building on your right is called Kinderhouse. It was the first permanent student home. Now it's the school's historical archives. And here's something kind of interesting. Kids are in student homes until they're in 12th grade. But when they're seniors, they move into these transitional living apartments on your right. There's about 4 kids in each apartment. They're given a budget. Well, then they got to go to town and buy their own groceries, wake themselves up, cook their own meals, do their own laundry, get themselves to school on time. After to an incident we had here a couple of years ago, when a local black bear climbed the fence and broke into our zoo. Got a little weird, and then somebody said, you know, we have an extra bear. So they tranquilized and took them away. See if we can spot the wolves. 2 blonde ones and a black one. They live on the left side of the creek. If you look to your right, they're usually hiding up under the pine trees. Up in the far left. See if anybody's out today. No, just buzzards today. Huh, lots of buzzards. I was walking the family dog across this bridge one day when the town's fire siren went off. The wolves started howling. My 100-pound retriever, that dog seriously tried to drag me the length of this sidewalk to get away from something he thought it was important to get away from. Hershey Park's on your left. Started in 1906. Milton thought it was important for people to have entertainment opportunities. So he built a picnic grove, ball field, an amphitheater with a big band show. Entertainment started coming to town, and the park started to grow. It's continued to grow. We have a water park now with a dozen attractions. We got our first roller coaster in 1915, and then we got another one, and another one, and well, anyhow, we've got 14 roller coasters now. They're all functional, and we have number 15 under construction as we speak.
May wood na roller coaster right now.
Yeah. I'm getting to that. Yeah. That's one of the best parts of the story. Oh, red light. Any questions about the park? Yes. The beautiful community center. But you know what? Well, hold on. We're going to give you a better view. A much broader view of town, because we've been given the privilege of taking you up on the hill above the big sign that says "Welcome to Hershey" in big white letters on the front of this hill in front of that building. And that building, that's the middle school for Milton Hershey School. Originally, it was our first high school, built in the 1930s. But when we built the new campus, we heavily remodeled this and added on to it quite a bit. Made it the new middle school and changed the name to Catherine Hall. Ah, that's not good. See if it'll come down. I've never seen it do that before. Let me see if we can get clear. Open the door and I think you have plenty of room to go wide. Yep. You're good. There we go. Now. Good thing I go to the gym. Yeah, so I was saying, back in September of 1945, a very special ceremony was held here to mark the end of World War II. When the service was over, Milton walked out the front door with a good friend of his. Now the two of them strolled out onto the front lawn here, and they stood out here for quite a while, had a real long conversation. They looked down at the town and down at his factory. And that was only a couple of weeks before Milton's death. And it's been said that he confided in his friend that day that he hoped maybe one day one of his students would come down off this hill and run his company for him. Well, we're happy to say that that has happened several times now. We've had presidents of the chocolate company, the entertainment corporation, and the past 3 presidents of the school have all been Milton Hershey School graduates. We're going to go around the corner here in Park, but before we do, look out to your right. Look out across the valley and beyond that black fence, and you'll see more student homes. Wow. That's the North Campus. There's 64 homes out there. That's where the 5th to 8th grade students reside. Part of the 180 I said we had, but that's just how many we have now, because we're building more. Give us another year or two. We're really excited to think we are soon going to be able to serve over 2,300
Hershey Park.
students.
Ito yung theme park, guys. Pero napakaliit ito kumpara sa...
Well, over your right shoulder, there's the Giant Center.
Alright, Giant Center.
Home of our Hershey Bears hockey team and our indoor concert venue. Beyond it, the West Hershey plant, the white building we saw earlier. Medical Center looks real nice out there at the base of the hill. But the tall building to its left with those greenish windows, that's the new Children's Hospital. And the medical facilities of this Penn State campus alone now includes buildings all along the base of that hill to the left for over a half a mile. It goes all the way until you're in line with the right-hand dip of the roller coaster, and it continues to grow. And between us and the Children's Hospital, that's the Reese's plant, that beige building with 2 towers. Chocolate World's down there where we started. Stadium has that football field the local high school teams still use, and there's our summer concert stage. And the dome building beyond it, that's the original ice hockey arena. Ice Capades started there in the 1930s. But if you're a fan of professional basketball, March 1962, in that arena was where Wilt Chamberlain scored his famous 100-point game. Who likes peanut butter cups? I usually have to cover my ears when I say that. What's a quiet group here today? Everybody thinks they were invented by Harry D. Reese. Actually, it was his wife's idea. Harry and his wife Blanche had 16 children. They were trying to earn some extra money making candies in the house on Ariba Avenue. In 1928, they came up with a peanut butter cup, and everybody in town loved it. Even Milton Hershey thought they were good. But he didn't feel threatened by them, because he honestly didn't think they would sell. Big mistake. But Harry worked for Milton in several capacities. Technically really exists. On the corner here, the next corner, on your right, it's called Finici's Restaurant, that brick building. That's a nice place to eat, but originally that was the very first peanut butter cup factory.
Oh, Finici's.
They had to keep moving to larger facilities as the company grew, and I'll tell you more about that later. Now on your left is the Hershey Story. That's our town museum, a lot of interesting artifacts in there. Here's the town square. This is where we had the party last night. Yeah, we had about 8,000 people here last night, and we raised a kiss off the corner of the press building. That's not a newspaper building. That's where they used to print all the candy wrappers. Now, turning on to Cocoa Avenue. This beautiful building to your left was the town's first community center, built in the 1930s. It has a 1,900-seat, beautifully decorated theater. Broadway shows, big acts come here on a regular basis. Streets were named after places he got his cocoa beans: Caracas, Granada, Arriba, Trinidad, Java. Many of the homes on those streets were built in the same time frame. Interesting story, I'll get to that in a moment. But first, Adrian's going to slow down at the next intersection, Arriba Avenue, to show you a very important home in town.
Thank you.
Look to your left. You'll see on the right-hand side of the street a pale blue house with burgundy shutters, and it's important because that's where the peanut butter cup was invented, right there. And I'll tell you more about that later.
Wow.
As for those homes in town, well, there are a lot of company towns around the country operated by people who made double profit off their employees. profit off their labor and then expensive rent for housing. Well, Milton didn't like that idea. He didn't think it was fair. So on those streets, he built hundreds of homes, and then he sold them to his employees at cost. Just added up the material and the labor. He also donated 1 square mile. Well, that's all the land you see to your left. For schools, recreational facilities. We have 5 very large recreational parks scattered around the township. Each of them has a nice playground like this one on your left. There's our new community center, and our new public pool is just below it. Next building's a library. Now in 1896, Milton went on a business trip to Chicago. Along the way, he stopped in a small candy store in Jamestown, New York. There he happened to meet a beautiful young lady by the name of Catherine Elizabeth Sweeney. All her friends called her Kitty. Well, he returned to Jamestown frequently after that. Then in 1898, he and Kitty were married in a very quiet ceremony in the rectory of St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. He brought his brand new bride home to the surprise of almost everybody in Lancaster, especially his very strict Mennonite mother. She didn't know much about it until then, but Kitty had a bubbly personality, sharp Irish wit, won people over very easily, and they had a lot of happily married years together. But they had one unfortunate problem. They never had any children of their own. Doctors told them very early on it wasn't going to happen for them, and it was devastating to both of them. But in 1909, Kitty had an idea. She made a suggestion. If they couldn't have children of their own, why don't they start a school? A home for orphan boys. They liked the idea. They started the Hershey Industrial School. Admitted the first 4 boys, and today, it's now known as the Milton Hershey School, and it has over 2,000 students in attendance from pre-K to 12th grade, and it exists on a campus of over 4,000 acres. We'll get a chance to see that shortly, but the schools on your left all belong to the township, so those are the public schools for the residents of the township. Hershey High School will be up here in the next corner on your left, but right across the street from it will be the start of Milton Hershey School's campus. So there is a big rivalry between 2 schools that are across the street from each other, and every year, they have the annual Cocoa Bean football game, and for 79 years, the Hershey High Trojans have been fighting the Milton Hershey School Spartans for a trophy with a big cocoa bean on top of it. It is a big deal in this area. Construction you see to your right, last year the school gave $350 million to create the Catherine Hershey Schools for Early Learning. That's the first of 6 schools being built in South Central Pennsylvania that will provide early learning, daycare, meals, transportation, and counseling to families children from families of underprivileged families, completely free of cost. Red light. Questions? Right? Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't adopt children.
They didn't. In a way, they did.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Their own home.
Well, there's more to the story to that too, because Kitty's health really didn't allow for that. Yeah. We'll get to that later. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I got to get back to the story. We're moving now. Hold on to it. Try to remember to ask me later. Okay. This is the start of Milton Hershey School's campus, but it doesn't look it doesn't look much like a school. It kind of looks like a residential community, because that's exactly what that is. Those are student homes. And we do call them homes because the Hersheys did not want the kids to grow up in dormitory conditions. They wanted them to experience normal family life. So each student home has a married couple that functions as house parents. There's 8, maybe 12 kids per home, and we now have over 180 homes on campus. Basically, they're houses on steroids. Big living rooms, dining rooms, kitchens, playrooms, everything you need in the house to make it a home for a really large family. Center of the roundabout's first of our 2 Spartan statues, and it's a girl Spartan. We first admitted girls to the school in 1977. Even population today. The school's health center's over here, the red building to your left.
1909.
Kids go there to recover from the flu, minor injuries, but if any child needs any major medical attention, remember that gift the school gave Penn State in the 60s? There's a world-class hospital right down the street. Founders Hall is to your left. Get a good look at it now. We're going to park right in front of it shortly. That was dedicated to Milton and Catherine on his birthday in September of 1970. Now this is a residential school. So, yeah, it's a boarding school. Kids do live here most of the year, but they go home on weekends and holidays and vacations like any other boarding school student does. Like maybe from one of those big expensive schools somewhere. But I can honestly tell you, there is no school anywhere that any rich person could enroll their children in and try and brag about how great that school is supposed to be. It even comes close to what these kids have here. And that's a remarkable statement when you realize it's no longer an orphanage. Today, the school is dedicated to children from low-income and limited resource families, and it is completely free of cost. Spartan Commons is off to your right. That's the high school campus. And I can tell you, the facilities here are so nice. I guarantee you, a lot of colleges would love to have a campus as nice as this high school. Look off to your right as you go around this bend. You get a pretty good idea what I'm talking about.
Milton Hershey School.
Now, I wish I could take you in to see Founders Hall. When this was built, it was the largest freestanding rotunda in the Western Hemisphere, second only to St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. It's 137 feet tall. You could walk through the rotunda, you come to an enormous 2,500 seat auditorium. The kids put pretty good use throughout the year. They have a, when the school was first started, the Hersheys wanted the kids to have three things. They wanted to have an appreciation of nature. Up until 1988, the kids used to live on dairy farms. Well, we still have a few farms left. If the kids want to get involved in the agricultural programs, they can still raise animals and even raise crops and sell produce to the public at their own farmers market. They have a very well-staffed nature center, an extensive environmental studies program that all the kids participate in for a couple of years. Second thing was they wanted them to have an appreciation of God and man. Well, the school doesn't have any affiliation with any religious organizations, but every Sunday morning they do have a chapel service. It's non-denominational, and when it's over, if any child wants to attend any service of any faith, the school provides transportation for them. And then the third thing was, in those days, they wanted them to learn a trade. So what began as a trade school by the 1950s evolved to become more of an academic institution. And on average, about 80% of our graduates further their education in colleges or high-tech trades.
Okay guys, pagkatapos ng trolley tour natin, my God, talagang ang pera niya hindi niya pinagkait. Kumbaga ang destiny niya talaga maging, you know, tanyag na tawag dito na negosyante, pero hindi niya pinagkait ang pera niya. Kaya dito ngayon tayo sa loob, may ka magbumili ng shirt, mga mugs, t-shirts. See? May Reese's Lego set pa. Ito, napuntahan natin ito. Yung pinakalumang kuwan nila. Parang factory nila. Parang sa tower. Okay, pwede ka mamili. Meron kang water bottle. Itong gusto ko. Itong almond coated na Hershey. $14 each. And yung almond nila from California. See, ito, meron din dito chocolate scented na kandila. Ayan. May mga sweater. Ooh, kung gusto mo ito, collectible serum bank. See, ang dami kang mapupunta. At saka yung kahapon, yan pa rin. At saka dito guys, wala silang discrimination no matter what kung may kapansanan ka. Itong babae na to kahapon, nag-welcome din sa amin to eh. At tapos na yung mga itong bote na puno ng Hershey's Kisses. Ayun, marami kang mabibili maliban sa tsokolate. Ayun, puro tsokolate yun. Ang daming checkout doon. So yun, makikita mo, marami kang mabibili. Nag-invest lang sila sa merchandise, but the thing is nagpapasalamat sila na, you know, because of patronage ng mga tao, they continue to go to the park and you know, buy some chocolates. See, talagang pambata, pampamilya, at mag-enjoy ka kung bibili ka ng tours gaya ng trolley tours, tasting kung taste time. Ayun, lagi silang may libreng tsokolate dito. Kung pupunta ka sa Hershey's chocolate tour. Bibigyan ka rin nila ng tsokolate after.
If you don't understand, please use the subtitle.
Alright. Lagi kasi nasabi na mag-English daw ako. It's like a UPS driver. Yeah. It's like a brown. And peanut butter. Ayan, ito guys. Magandang concept niya. Enjoy kami dito. Dito kami nag-New Year kagabi. Alright guys, see you on our next one. Alright. No. Alright. Galing kami kanina dun sa isang show.
If you can't understand, please use subtitles.
What happened? Oh, the DJ.
Dad, it might be copyright.
Okay. Alright, kita nyo to. Sobrang dami ng tsokolate, iba-ibang flavor. Alright, and the DJ. Yeah, ito muna. Oh, tingnan nyo ito guys. Tsokolate. Ano kung magkano ito? See? Rolo, Mounds, Reese's Pieces, pretzel covered chocolates. Oh, iba-iba na yung mga flavor niya. Oh. May pahog pang Reese's Things.
But this!
Hershey Special Dark. Ito, bago ata nila to eh. 247. See? See? It's already like $4 each. No, what I like is the one with almonds.
Oh, it's milk chocolate with almonds.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. Okay, see? Meron silang may mug together with liquid peanut butter. Ito yung famous sa atin. Ito, yan. Hershey syrup. See?
Look at this.
Butter. Ito, para sa mga diabetes, may media. May diabetes.
Para sa mga
Yeah, para sa mga may media diabetes. Hershey syrup with zero sugar. See? Ito, bago ito Salnut or bago lang sa paningin ko. They have Score, Dark Teens, Bark Teens. See? Sobrang dami. See? Tingnan mo ito guys. Ito yung mga syrup nila.
Going to the DJ. Turn off the
Oh
music.
no, not yet. Okay. Sa
Me and
kanila.
Mommy are going.
Okay. Ito may Brookside din sila. Ang dami na. Fruity. Nutty. Oh, may nacho cheese. Ano to? Paki? Ayan. At least hindi Pacquiao. Alright guys. See? That's pretzel dots. Kailangan nilang produkto na. Yung skinny pop, kanila din. Wow! Talagang nag-diversify sila. Alright guys, see you again later.